This video will go over the basics for using web browser text analysis tools to analyze a corpus of texts. This video is created by Northeastern University's Digital Teaching Integration, which is part of the college's Social Sciences and Humanities initiative to better integrate digital proficiencies, skills, methods, and tools across the disciplines. This video will provide important vocabulary words and definitions, briefly walk through the steps for building a corpus, show how to use some web browser text analysis tools, and finally provide questions to help you interpret your results. If you're interested in jumping to a particular section, you can find the timestamps in the description box. First, I will go over some important vocabulary words and terms. Computational text analysis uses computational methods and digital tools to read text and provide information about patterns in the texts. Some methods include word and phrase counts, collocation, and correlation. You can conduct computational text analysis using web browser tools, which we'll be talking about today, or coding languages like Python and R. Web browser text analysis tools are tools that are open access and usually free as long as you have access to a computer and internet. These tools have limits for how much data they can handle, but are usually useful for smaller projects. Some of these include Voyant, DataBasic, and Davies word tree. Voyant is a web browser text analysis and visualization tool that can analyze different texts and file types. For example, it can analyze .txt files, Word document files, and PDFs. Just be careful though, because some file types, like Word documents and PDFs, may have formatting that could skew your results. I recommend using TXT files or plain text files. Plain text files, which are files that end in .txt, remove all hidden formatting. You can create TXT files by using plain text editors such as Notepad on Windows or TextEdit on Macs. I almost always recommend saving your texts as plain text files when doing computational text analysis. While Voyant may accept Word document files, other web browser tools may not. Corpus, or the plural corpora, are a collection of texts you will be analyzing. For this video, I will be using a sample corpus I created based on Democratic and Republican Party platforms from the past few years. Metadata, or data about your data, is useful information about individual texts. Metadata about text may include the title of the text, the author, where it was published, when it was published, a URL, the original location you got the text if you found it online, and of course, the name of the actual file itself, so you can remember which metadata belongs with which text. Data preparation are the steps you take before you input your data and do computational text analysis. Textual data contains letters, numbers, whitespace, special characters, and punctuation. Most computational text analysis tools like Voyant will do data preparation for you. Data preparation usually includes removing stop words as well as getting rid of punctuation or unnecessary whitespace. Stop words are the most common words that appear in a language. For example, some English words are the, a, an, I, we, she, he, they, and or. Stop words are typically removed in the data preparation stage because they can clutter the results for word frequency counts. Sometimes, though, a researcher can choose to keep stop words because stop words, such as prepositions, may help us identify particular information about the author and the author's patterns as they write. This next part of the video will talk about the steps I walked through to create the sample corpus that will be used in this video. First, you will need to create a corpus. If you're analyzing several different texts, I recommend keeping each text in an individual file and organizing these files into one folder. As you can see, I have 10 individual files, and they're all in the sample data folder. Each file is a plain text file, which you can tell because it ends with .txt. My corpus is a collection of Democratic and Republican Party platforms from different presidential election years. I collected these texts from the American Presidency Project Archive. I simply went to the texts that I wanted, then I opened them up, and then I copied and pasted the entire text body. So I also named my TXT files so I could identify what information was in what. For example, I know that this is the 2000 Democratic Party platform because I have 2000gore.txt here. And when I open this TXT file is the same as this. I also recommend creating a separate document, like a spreadsheet, that contains metadata about the text in your corpus, such as the text author and the title. As you can see here, my metadata is a spreadsheet. I have the file name, I have the party, I have the year, I have the nominee, and finally I have the URL where I got the original text from. Now that I have my corpus, I want to use Voyant, a web browser text analysis tool, to begin analyzing my text. I go to voyant-tools.org, then I click Upload. I make sure I'm in the correct folder, which I am, Sample Data. Make sure to select only the text you want to analyze. For example, I don't really want the metadata file to influence my results. Then you click Open. This will take you to the Voyant dashboard. Voyant provides several different visualizations and ways to analyze a corpus, while also giving you interesting information about your corpus. To the left here is a word cloud. It shows you the most frequent words with each stop word removed, and you can hover over the words to see the actual frequency. For example, America appears 1,011 times, unsurprisingly. Down here is a summary of the basic information in your corpus and the individual texts themselves. Voyant could tell me information about the individual documents because I broke them into individual documents. For example, the longest document is the 2000 Republican Party platform, while the shortest is the 2004 Democratic Party platform. It also tells you which documents have the largest and shortest average words per sentence, the most frequent words in your corpus, and the distinctive words in each document. These are the unique words that appear in each individual text. This may be a great place for you to begin to analyze particular patterns in each individual text, as well as larger patterns across the corpus. The reader here in the middle gives you the actual texts. You can go through the different texts and hover over words to look at their document frequency. Here we can see stop words and punctuation are still included, as this is important to reading the entire text. One of my favorite tools is the trends visualization, here to the right. This shows how often a particular word appears across texts. You can see at the bottom the names of the individual text files, and then the frequency of how often each word appears. These are the top 5 words that appear across the corpus. Let's say, for example, I'm interested in looking at health. I would deselect everything and keep health here. This is important, though, to understand and know the context of your data. When and why is the word health used? Let's say I'm also interested in which party cares about crime. I can type crime in the search box down here, then I can select all the different forms of crime and look at the trends. As you can see, the Democrat Party in 2000 cared a lot about crime. So you might want to go through the different contexts to get an understanding for why crime is such a concern for the 2000 Democratic Party. That's where this tool, Context, at the bottom right comes in handy. This will show the collocation of particular words and terms. So if I'm interested in how crime appears, I go to crime. Here's the term, and here is 5 words that are to the left and 5 words that are to the right of when that appears. So if I'm interested in 2000 gore, make sure I go down to 2000 gore, and I can start looking at the context around crime. Voyant also has a bunch of other tools, which you can find out more about on Voyant's documentation page. In order to look at these different tools, you simply go to the top bar over here and to the right. These are the different tools you can use. The corpus tool allows you to get an overall understanding of the corpus, and the document tools allows you to see specific document trends. You can also save your results. Let's say you want to post your results on a website or put them in an essay. You can simply go to the visualization or results you're interested in saving and click the Export button. This provides you with a bunch of ways to export, including saving it as an image or even just saving the data and results. For example, I can save this trends visualization by clicking the Export button. And I can save it as an HTML snippet, or I can export it as a PNG image. Let's say I want to save the contexts around crime. I can save and export it. I can export it, if I would like to, as a JSON file or as a tab-separated value. DataBasic has several different types of text analysis tools. Go to databasic.io/en. Today, we will look at SameDiff and word counter. Both SameDiff and word counter only accept TXT files or text that's copied and pasted. Voyant has a word counting mechanism, as we saw with the word cloud. But I want to show you word counter anyway. Word counter counts the most frequent words used in the text. Unlike Voyant, though, you can only select one TXT file. Go to Upload a File, and let's say I'm interested in looking at the 2000 Democratic Party platform. I click Upload a File and find my text. Then I can choose to keep stop words as well as keep capitalization. For the sake of this tutorial, I will remove stop words and have all the letters lowercase. Here we see another word cloud. Only this word cloud is just of the Democratic Party platform from 2000. We can also look at the top words, top bigrams, and top trigrams. As you can see, the bigrams and the trigrams keep stop words. If you're interested, by scrolling down to the bottom of the document, you can download the individual counts, such as the word count, the bigram, or the trigram, by clicking on these. Now we're going to look at SameDiff. SameDiff compares two TXT files, looking at the most frequent words that appear across both documents, and then looking at the unique words that appear in each document. Let's say I'm interested in comparing the political party platforms in 2012. I choose my files by going to Upload Files. And then I click Compare. Once your results come in, you can see the cosine similarity, which will tell you how similar your documents are based on the words used. We can also see the words that appear most frequently in both documents with the stop words removed, such as president, American, and government. Then we can see the unique words for each document. In the Democratic platform, the word worked comes in, which may be because Obama was already president. So the party was discussing the work he had already done. We also see this interesting VE here, which is the second half of a conjugation. like would've. This happens when punctuation is removed. In the Republican Party platform, we see healthcare is used uniquely, which may be because Republicans were challenging Obamacare at this point. You can also save your results by scrolling to the bottom and clicking Download the full results as a CSV file. Next, we're going to look at Jason Davies' word tree. You can find the link in the description box below. Voyant has a similar function to word tree, but this tool is created for the sole purpose of finding contextual patterns of a particular word in a particular text. Unlike Voyant and DataBasic tools, word tree works by copying and pasting text into this paste text box. Let's say I want to look at the contextual patterns in the 2000 Democratic Party platform. First, I want to open my TXT file. Then I'm going to select all, copy, and then paste my text into this box. Unlike word count, same diff, and Voyant, there is no data preparation done to this text. The stop words, capital letters, and punctuation will all still be there. When we were looking at the Voyant results, the word crime was used quite often in this individual text. So we might be interested in what some linguistic patterns before and after the word crime. First, you want to put it in the search box, click enter. Then we can see some linguistic patterns after the word crime is used. As we can see, is comes after crime several times. In fact, we see the word crime is down 4 times in the text, which may be because Clinton, a Democrat, was president during this time. So the party is arguing why their platform might be most effective. We also see crime before it, which may suggest the party was concerned with targeting the causes of crime. If you're interested in seeing the patterns before the word crime, simply click Reverse Tree. There are less patterns here, but we can see adjectives like violent and organized, as well as verbs like stop and prepositions like of. I have shown you a few different web browser text analysis tools you can use to conduct computational text analysis on a corpus. One of the most important things to remember, though, is that getting these results isn't necessarily enough. Computational text analysis can be a form of discovery and provides another method for exploring your corpus rather than just reading the texts. This may be particularly important if you have a huge corpus, say 1 million words. Computational text analysis may help you summarize patterns in your text. However, you don't want to just stop there. Whether you're doing a larger or smaller scale project, like looking at the 10-party platform since 2000, I recommend you interpret those results and use them to present some kind of argument or idea about your corpus. For example, we may look at the way the presidential party platforms all talk about crime to get a better understanding of different values among different parties, and as well as how those values may shift over time. If you compare how crime is used in the 2000s versus how crime is used in 2016, you may get a better sense of the values being perpetuated. Let's say we're talking about 2000 Democratic Party. The text analysis results suggest that there was a focus on crime, and the word tree particularly showed that crime rates dropped under the Clinton administration. What we might be able to argue are how parties use the current administration's choices and impacts to advocate for their nominees, and sometimes how ideas of crime get perpetuated in that. When you're looking at results, there are a ton of questions you can ask, and your questions will be much more specific depending on your corpus, which is why it's always good to be familiar with your data. Here are some general questions you might find useful to apply to your corpus. Why do some words appear in texts but not appear in others? Why might some words appear more frequently than other words? How does word usage change over time? And what values might be upheld in individual texts or across the corpus when you look at word usage? How might values differ between individual texts? And remember, when computational text analysis quantifies information from your corpus is just a small representation of a much larger wealth of information. Keep your arguments focused and contextualized. Know your data well. And how you interpret your results and make your argument is up to your framework and your perspective. As always, be a critical researcher and be mindful when you make arguments. For more information, visit our website. The link is down in the description box. Thank you.